Hi there, welcome to the Shoe Rainer Drawing Channel, and today I'm going to show you how to draw Pudsey, the winner with Ashleigh of Britain's Got Talent 2012. But let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Well, I'm trying this in a totally new way, so I'm having to hold my pencil because it's on an angle, which might help me a bit. I'm hoping it will. Although the camera's all twisted around and it all feels very different. I'm going to draw two parallel lines. I put one up across like that, and then basically we want squares kind of like that. So, and then around about an extra third on the bottom there, and roughly a third kind of on each side like that. So that's the box that we're after. And I'm going to erase out those lines. I'll use a brush to get rid of that so I don't smear with my hands. This is the basic setup for Pudsey. We want kind of an M shape coming down to about there. His nose will be on the line there. And the eyes going to be roughly about like that. And the ears will come kind of like that there. But they're going to come and kind of curl in a bit. And what we want again to get right from the start is to just get a couple of bits that are definitely kind of hanging over. And then you can draw in his eye behind those bits. A nice big pupil in the middle. And then you're going to want a kind of a little area of light in there. And you're pressing not quite as hard as the pupil. Leave a little bit there, and then getting lighter and lighter as you come down to the bottom. And then maybe that needs just toning down a little bit there. Here's kind of a lovely thick eyeliner. You can just build up the edges of the eyes, and I think Pudsey's eyes are a very important part of making him who he is. And all the time you need to be thinking about where his fur is going, so it's kind of going up at that angle there. And very dark underneath. He has this kind of fringe, so it's kind of really quite dark underneath it, this shadow. And then he also has this kind of staining around the eyes, which is probably not the polite term for it. And this kind of dog has a very white kind of pale fur. Quite often they have this kind of pinky kind of staining from tears and around the mouth as well. And then you want to get these questioning eyebrow effect kind of thing, but they're not actually eyebrows. It's just the way the hair falls, but it kind of makes it look like an eyebrow. I'm just going to put little bits, slightly straggly bits. Getting this fur right is really, really difficult. From the hair we had the head, there are these kind of two large, kind of eyebrowish kind of bits that come from the head that are kind of not actually ears. I'm sure dog aficionados probably have a name for all these bits. So we're going to want sort of shade coming out from there and from there too. Right, let's start on the nose. So the nose is kind of round about here on that line, and bring it right round on the top and make it very dark. And then you have a patch of light, and you want to put in two nostrils, and then it kind of comes down. So leave a little strip of lightness there around the nostrils. It's a very dark, shiny nose. And the mouth is, dogs have this kind of line under their nose, which usually splits into a W shape, but if you do that with Pudsey, it just makes him look un-Pudsey-like. So he has this kind of very human kind of mouth, which is kind of what makes him so attractive, because he seems to be smiling all the time. And it's really our kind of perception that sees this smile and thinks it adds a kind of human element to it. He isn't smiling in a kind of human way that we imagine at all, but it's just that's just the way his face is. It's also what makes him so cute. And then we kind of want this angle coming out like that. So all the time working in the direction of the fur. And you want this kind of darker, slightly darker on the top of his nose, because that's actually something that this sort of shade makes him look cute. That's another one of his little things that makes him look so cute. And just around here, he's got this kind of staining again around the... I need to soften this up somehow. And this will come down to this bottom line here. We want this darker down here as well, this kind of line coming down there. All the time working with the angle of the fur that the fur is forming. So you really need to study that. I've tried drawing this a couple of times already. Failed miserably. It was mostly because of I think the angle of the desk. And I was having to work flat, so I couldn't really see what I was doing. So I've now done an interesting bit of jiggery pokery with the camera, which allows me to draw at an angle, which seems to have had quite a bit of a difference. I'll do some very crude shading underneath here just to kind of put him in perspective a little bit, I suppose. There you go, how to draw Pudsey. Well done, Ashleigh. That was an amazing job. we really enjoyed watching you. Learn how to draw cute little puppies or try the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you're subscribed and check out my other channel, Draw Stuff Real Easy. In the meantime, keep drawing. Practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.